Let's see if we can try again on a different phone. As I was saying, I've had issues with my internet connection, hence the reason why I stopped doing live recordings, because I really was hoping that it will have resolved itself, but obviously it doesn't seem like it has resolved itself. Hence the reason why I had so many guys turning up for and then unfortunately internet was just playing up. So we will try again. So let's call this a practice run. If it doesn't work out, then I'll stop it and potentially contact my internet provider so that they can know that things are not okay for us. So for those of you that were on the other stream and you got interrupted, my sincere apologies, because obviously I had no intentions of coming live and then causing any abrupt disruption. So if the other stream is still live, that's not me. I've tried to end that stream. So again, as I said, a massive apologies, because I just don't know. My internet feels like, a spoiled child that has a mind of their own, and they just want to do their thing rather than letting you do your thing. And so I'm confident that those who are with me will be able to join again, but I cannot guarantee that this internet will hold until the end. So just in case I get cut off, I will definitely come back, because obviously that's again it shows resilience, right? It shows you that sometimes life does things that are unexpected. And so when life does the unexpected, we have to adapt to it. So once again, my massive apologies, deepest apologies. If you are on the other stream, there are people that were saying they didn't have and couldn't hear. There are those who say, I just kept on being cut through. So if you're one of those that came over and was not able to continue with the stream, as I said, my massive, 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 deepest apologies for that. So I'll go back to what I had initially started talking about, and then we will continue with it on this stream if it holds. As I was saying, today has been a very emotionally exhausting day. One of those days that feels really heavy emotionally, and it makes you really reflect on stuff and think about life more than once. I have a very dear friend, this friend of mine, I've shared with her one of those darkest, deepest moments of my life. So she was really good. She's one of the ladies we got together to church. And so the mom started coming to church with us a couple of years back. She was baptized last year during the Easter Sunday. And so after the mom was baptized, and I can see some of you live as I was saying, apologies for my previous stream that has kept on disrupting me. And if you cannot hear, or if you cannot see me, or you cannot hear, there's a lag, my sincere apologies, because it seems like I still have issues with my internet connection. I have tried to rectify this a few times, and hence the reason we haven't done live streams in ages, because obviously I want also to be able to bring quality rather than just being able to add on videos and things like that. So for those of you who are coming and joining with us the very first time, if you've been here before and the interruption of the stream made you disappear, again, as I said, my sincere apologies. My name is Claire. I have the privilege of being the founder of this channel. I'm a registered nutritionist. I love everything about nutrition. I love everything about food because I'm a foodie. I teach food science and nutrition. I am a mom, so I have my youngest is just a year old. So again, at the moment, I'm on a journey trying to go back into healthy living. Obviously, after having a baby 1 year on, it has not been one of the easiest journeys. So my friend Alex is here on this live stream. He knows I chat to him a lot about my struggles because he's ripped. He's really done a good job, and he has gotten himself into the goals of his life. So if you're here with me, glad to have you. Glad to share my evening with you in my kitchen. I call this my kitchen conversations, where I get the opportunity just to come to you guys in my kitchen. Sometimes I can do a food demo, sometimes just catching up in the kitchen. As I said, they say all good, beautiful conversations, they start in the kitchen. So I'll leave that aside, my introductions. Of course, it's nice to know me, but there isn't much about me that I want you to know about. But I want really this evening to be about you. As I was saying, I attended, so my really good friend, again, the internet does its thing. So it's been one of those like really difficult days for me, because this really dear friend of mine, the mom passed away, and the mom, we go to church together. We always sit next to each other. So we know each other quite well from afar. We know each other quite well for a long period of time. And so when the mom passed away about 6 weeks ago, they decided to have the funeral today. So I attended the funeral. And as I've been in this funeral, it actually made me start thinking differently about life. Obviously, I've gone through that journey myself, having lost my mom about 4 years ago. I know what it means, and my dad has been a day before yesterday, 10 years since he passed. So I understand the loss of losing a parent. But this one really became apparent to me, because I was thinking sometimes we think total wellness in the sense of like it's eating healthy, it's exercising, and all those kind of things, which are really, really important. Don't get me wrong. That's the whole idea of total wellness, right? You want to eat well, you want to eat healthy. And of course, this is a woman that was born in 1938. So she's lived a good, long life. But I was just thinking about it. I was like, what are some of the things that can actually bring longevity to life, right? Because I believe you and me will really love to live a long, beautiful life. And I was thinking sometimes some people like me, carry a lot of baggage with us. We carry a lot of things that can actually even interfere with our own wellness and make us not really be able to enjoy life. I'm thinking about life. And as I sat, we went to the crematorium, and as we were in the crematorium, there's one of the ministers who was saying to us, she has been in the same place on Monday, taking a funeral of a 30-year-old. And I was like, what a contrast. A 30-year-old dies today versus an 88-year-old dying. But at the end of the day, I was starting to think about the impact that we make and how we can actually have longevity with our life. Of course, our lives are in the hands of God. Don't get me wrong. He has, as they say, I did a first aid course a few weeks back, and this woman was saying, the moment we are born, each one of us has a stamp of our expiry date. So when our expiry date has come, boy, girl, lady, gentleman, whether you try everything you try, as long as the expiry date has come, nothing can change it. But we can do something to extend that expiry date. And that's where lifestyle comes in. In public health nutrition, they say it's your genes can load a gun, but your environment is the one that plays an important role in pulling the trigger, right? So your genes can predispose you to diseases. Like, as I said, my mom passed away. She had type 2 diabetes. Her brothers have type 2 diabetes. I do not want it to get into my mind that maybe I may have that diabetes as well, but genetically I may have that predispositioning of diabetes, but my environment will play a significant role in either I end up being diabetic or I end up without diabetes. And of course, there are some of these non-communicable diseases, which are diseases that they call them diseases of affluence. These are things like some cancers. There's some things like obesity, etc. There are things that sometimes we can have control over them. Our lifestyle matters a lot when it comes to issues to do with as I say, the pulling of the trigger. And so I was thinking about this whole issue and whole being in that moment and saying goodbye to this lady. And I was thinking, wow, the greatest thing that we can never do for us, the greatest thing, somebody wants to see my outfit. There you go. The greatest things that we can never do for ourselves is being able to allow ourselves to live a good, well-lived life. Those will include things like, of course, exercise is important. I'm big on exercise. I'm big on putting in your steps. In the UK, they advise at least 30 minutes of exercise daily or 150 minutes of exercise per week. So big on your exercise, going out, doing your steps. It could be walking, it could be jumping, it could be skipping a rope, it could be wherever it is. It doesn't really matter as long as you're trying to incorporate some exercise. It is big on the eating part of it. Of course, as I said, it's your lifestyle, the food, the eating you eat. What do you eat? those calories that you drink, etc., that make an important role, that actually can actually impact your life, whether you like it or whether you don't like it. Those untold stuff. We know I've talked about things like Eat Well Guide. I've talked about things like Mediterranean diets, etc. Those are things that could potentially help you when it comes to that. And of course, just having a balanced plate by itself is important. Internet, here, come on, stay on for a minute until I finish what I'm doing. And then there are other things, of course, which are indirect, like we carry some of us some trauma from our past. We carry unforgiveness. Like some of us, we are allowing people to live in our minds and our hearts rent free. We are allowing, they say a bird, it's not, you cannot prevent a bird from flying over your head, but you can prevent it from making a nest. Which bird have you allowed to nest over your head? Who are those people that are living in your heart and in your mind rent free, that actually can impact your wellness, can impact your well-being? Because when you're carrying unforgiveness, you're carrying an extra baggage, an extra burden, something that can actually affect you in your life. And so those are some of the extra things that when you think about them and get rid of them, they could potentially help us. And as I usually say, you can drink your water, you can eat your minerals and vitamins and food. But if you're not good here, if your mind is not well enough, then you're not well enough. So sometimes it may mean checking into therapy, it may mean counseling, it may mean whatever it is, but look after your mind. Like, guard your mind with all diligence, because again, it's important. Guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues or the virtues of life. For some of us who read the Bible, we know that. So I want to just encourage and say, one day it will come to a point, as this woman told us in our first aid course, and said, when our expiry, I don't want to say if, because it's inevitable. One day when will come, when our expiry date comes and we have that stamp to say, you know what, end of it, it's come to an end. What will people remember about you? And today the minister was taking the funeral at church, said three things that really stuck with me. And she said, one thing is, people will remember you on how you loved. So who are the people that you love? Who are the people that love you? And where will you spend your eternity? And so when you're coming on this channel to do anything, to browse, to learn something, I just want to leave those three questions with you and say, Claire, Alex, whoever it is that is listening, three things like, who are those people that love you? And when you have identified those people that love you in your life, love them back. Love, laugh, and live. Love them back deeply. Love them back in a way that they feel loved, right? And then the next thing, always ask yourself, the most important question that I can never ask anyone, even if I was to do a nutrition consultancy, I'll ask you your diet, I'll ask you what you ate and things like that. But the biggest and most important question is, where will you spend eternity? Because when our time comes, whether we like it or not, one day it will come. There will be life after this life. Physical exercise profits, but there is more to it than just jogging around, than doing our wherever it is, which is amazing. As I said, if you come here, you will see lots of information on eating, lots of information on exercise, lots of information on different things. But today is an information about your soul, is an information about, think about, once this life is gone, where will I spend eternity? Because the truth of the matter, I'm sorry if this is like breaking news to tell you, the day will come. It will be when rather than if. And so it might be maybe 88 years like my friend's mom. It might be 30 years. It might be younger or wherever. But once you have that certainty and you know where eternity is and where you're going to spend eternity, you have no fear of death, because at the end of the day, you know who has overcome death, and you know that there is life after death. Anyway, I just thought to catch up with you guys because, as I said, it's been a while. And sorry and apologies for my internet that keeps on misbehaving. I'll try to fix it. But until then, I leave you with these three questions. Who do you love? Who loves you? And where will you spend eternity when the time comes? Have an amazing evening. Thank you so much for catching up. For those who are still live with me, if you can't support us by just clicking like, share, or subscribe, that will go a long way in supporting what we do. Anyway, I'll leave you to go. I want to do some cooking. It's a shame because I don't even know if my internet will hold. And so I wouldn't start any demonstration, but I will definitely sort that out. And I'll come to do either an exercise or a cooking demonstration. But until then, beloveds, I pray, as you know, this channel, 3 John 2:1 is our anchor that says, beloved, I pray above everything or above all that you will prosper and be in good health, even as your souls prosper. So I hope you have a prosperous evening. Take care. God bless you abundantly. And remember those 3 questions I've asked you to ask yourself this evening as we are coming to the end of July, coming into August. Who do you love? Who loves you? And when the time comes, when the rubber stamp of your expiry date, as I said, is not if the time comes, is when the time comes, where will you spend eternity? And the best thing, of course, is making the right choices and choosing well. As I said today, we've talked about longevity. We've said if you want a longer life, we say in public health nutrition, it's your genes that can load the gun, but it's the trigger of the lifestyle, the things around us, what we eat, our exercise, alcohol, and things like that. And so reminding yourself to, like, as they say, what are the things that you can control? What are the things that are in my control? I can control my eating. I can control my exercise. I can control my reactions. I can control my emotions. I can control my feelings. But I cannot control what people think about me. I cannot control what people say about me. I cannot control what other people's impact on my life. And so protecting what you can control and maybe ignoring what you can't control. Anyway, I've got to go. Have an amazing evening. Once my internet is sorted out, I look forward to catching up properly because, as I said, I miss this community. But it's a shame that whenever I try to catch up, and my internet shows it has really good connection, but it just seems like it's not the season. Maybe it's just because it's been so hot that the internet impacts. Anyway, I'll let you go. Have a great evening. Catch up with you again very much soon.